Hello, friends. Welcome to the Repertory XP program. Today, we are going to see how we can use the repertory in some of our cases artistically. So, this was a case which came to me for headaches. And in the headaches, she tells me that her headaches were diagnosed as migraine. Now, the moment we listen to the word migraine, most of the times we start thinking remedies. And those of us who are well versed with homeopathy, who practice homeopathy for long, know that it's not right. So they start taking the symptoms. And this patient, who the lady of around 36 years, tells me that her migraines were usually accompanied by swelling over the body. Now, this swelling would come as the headache comes and then it would go off. And then I, of course, ask her in our pattern of LSMC. So uh, she starts with the modalities and she says usually her migraines are aggravated at night, especially at around 12 to 1 a.m. And at that time, the pain is quite intense and she needs to vomit out. She wakes up with the headache and she vomits out, and only that will relieve her headaches. The other thing she tells me is if at all, any time when she's around in the daytime, she gets a headache, or even in the night when she wakes up to go for vomiting, the moment she starts stepping, the stepping itself gives her intensity of the pain to increase. The other thing which she tells me is usually, even when she doesn't have a headache, if she eats something hard, she has to crunch hard. At that time, she will feel something over here, ballooning up or swelling up. And that would, on that day, she will definitely have the headache at night. So then I ask her where exactly the headache is, and she tells me here and here, so temporal and parietal. And then she suddenly says, along with this headache, whenever the headache is there, at that time my body will become heavy. So I ask her more about the headache, and she says it is actually the pain is so intense that along with it, there is numbness, tingling numbness in the head, as if ants are crawling. And when I ask her, even before the tingling numbness, what happens? She says there is a lot of pain as if it is being hammered. She shows it with her hand, and as if the head is being banged. So I ask her, okay, when this banged and when this hammered is there, that time what helps you? So she says, doctor, it is not ameliorated, not less by bandaging. I have tied it hard quite a few times. And you'll say, see, she says this again after a little while. It doesn't help her headaches. What helps is rest. And I ask her about the sensation, and she says it is like a chamak, a lightning like pain. Suddenly it comes, and then it will go slowly, but it is intermittent. Sometimes it comes and then it goes off. It takes its own time. The pain is so intense that I have to close my eyes. I need to close my eyes, and the eyes close automatically. So then I ask her, what is the effect on you with of this pain? And she says, everything gets disturbed with this pain. Everything. It is almost as if I am just at one place, the same place, and everything else is keeping on changing. I have tried to keep the head tied up a lot. As I told you, she repeats this. So I said, okay, what is your reaction at that time? And she says, do not disturb. That's my reaction. I feel, please don't disturb me. Don't come and talk to me because I am aggravated by noise. And then she tells me, actually, doctor, my headache differs in the day and in the night. So I said, differs in the day and in night means, she says, actually, this is whatever I have told you up to now. This is the headache I usually will get at night. But during the day, if I get the headache, then it is always on the left side. And it is even in the ear. and it is always accompanied with noises in the ear, which is tinnitus. And what are the kind of noises? She says it is put put kind of noises or pitch pitch, and she shows this way. If you hold water like this and if you leave it, if you snap your fingers a little bit, the water will make a very slight noise. You'll have to be very attentive to hear to it. That's the noise she will hear. So I said, okay, tell me about this second type of headache. And she says, it will always start with my vision going off. I said, vision going off? So she says, yeah, my half vision will go off and half I will be still able to see. So which half will go off? The left vertical half will go off and the right half I'll be able to see with both the eyes. I said, okay. And then what happens? So she says, after this, there'll be vertigo. I'll start feeling giddy. I'll start feeling as if everything is turning around me. And then the headache will start. With the vertigo, the headache will start. And it's a very intense headache. Again, the second one is also very intense. And she says, like the earlier one, this is also ameliorated by rest. But here it is not just rest. I have to sleep. And if I'm able to sleep, then it will be much less. I said, okay. So tell me about this headache, which is better by sleeping. She says, doctor, that is even more interesting. When I sleep, if I go to sleep, then when I wake up, the headache will not be there, but I will not be able to move my limbs. It has happened twice. And the first time, the my family was not aware that such a thing happens to me. So the first time it happened, they were totally in a shock and they were, confused what to do. I couldn't get up and go to the doctor, so they took me to a doctor. And then the second time they were a little well versed, so they knew that it will go off. They didn't call the doctor, they just phoned him and told him that this is happening. The doctor gave instructions for medicines and I was fine. This kind of paralysis will usually, the headache will happen at around 12 to 1 p.m. afternoon, and then I'll go to sleep by 2. By 2:30 I'll wake up and the paralysis will stay anywhere up to 7, 8, or even sometimes up to 9 p.m. Twice it has happened, so once 7, once 9 maybe. And she says, I can sense that this headache is coming. Of course, with the hemianopia, the half vision thing. The left sided vision is gone, and then I feel sleepy and heavy in the body. So then I ask her a little bit about her mentals, and she says, with the headaches, since the headaches have started, I have become very irritable. I just feel if you don't care for me, I don't care for you. I don't care for my body either. So I'll just remain irritated. I'll fight for no reason. The only thing that has changed is I was very active earlier. Now I have become very lethargic, and I feel like not meeting people. I feel I should be alone. These are the changes that I have. So with this, uh, I thought probably I have the picture of the case. Maybe I'll be able to work out something. So I started going into other areas and I asked her the family history, and she says a similar history was there in her father. So I also asked her about sleep and dreams. So in one of the dreams, she was meeting her aunt, and they were having a family get together, and she was feeling very nice about being together. This was the history of the case. As I started working out, like we usually do, I had a repertory sheet which I made with all the symptoms. A usual mechanical repertorization looks something like this. And then we get remedies like sepia, bryonia, calcarea, lachesis, so many remedies, and we are totally confused what to do. And this happens because We have taken all the symptoms, almost all the symptoms, but we have not understood what is peculiar in the case. So I would take a gap of around 15-20 seconds, and I would let you analyze what is the characteristic symptoms here. You might even pause the video and then repertorize it and see what remedy comes up. If we understand that migraines, for example, will obviously have one-sidedness, or even though the hammering kind of sensation, the motion aggravates, jarring aggravates, some time of the day which will aggravate or ameliorate, maybe rest or sleeping ameliorates, everything will be common to migraines or to generally to headaches, along with the idea that I get irritated when I have the headache. All this is expected in cases of headaches. What is totally new in cases in like this is that she has a very specific left-sided half vision which goes off, and the right side can still be seen. A very specific vertical hemiopia or hemianopia with the headache, or rather before the headache. And the other thing, which is very, very peculiar, I have not heard it in my 19 years of practice up to now in any other patient except this one, which is headache ameliorated by sleep. But after the sleep, I get paralyzed for whatever number of hours. These two things are the peculiarities in this case. If we can find this in the case, then we have solved the case. So I hope you were able to come to this idea of what is the peculiarity in the case, and you could find the rubrics. At that time, I could find the rubrics in this way. What vision hemiopia accompanied by head complaints of. So head complaints accompanied by hemiopia, vertigo accompanied by pain in the head, and head complaints of accompanied by weakness of muscles. I tried paralysis, paresis as words, but it was difficult to find them. And once you get these rubrics, then the remedy is very easy to find. There is only one remedy which covers everything, and that remedy is onosmodium. Now, we usually have not heard onosmodium as a remedy, or we do not know that it is also a remedy for headaches and migraines, and especially headaches which cause paralysis kind of situation, weakness of muscles. And that once you get to such a remedy, it is your responsibility. It is also the fun of homeopathy that you read the remedy. So when I did the repertorization later on, the important thing to use the new repertory was to take many rubrics together. As you see, I have taken head internal hemiopia in, vision hemiopia headache before, vision hemiopia headache with, and hemiopia headache with one-sided hemicranium, which is the migraine. And once we take all these four rubrics and merge them together, you get headache with or before hemiopia, vertigo headache during, and head in the same sentence of weariness, because weariness or weakness is an inability to move. And once we do that, we get these four remedies: natrum mur, muriatic acid, lycopodium, and onosmodium. And once you get to there, you read the remedy onosmodium, you will see formication crawling as a symptom, head internal hemiopia in even in Boger, head internal tinnitus with, which was also one of the symptoms, and then head noises in. Then extremities, heaviness, tired limbs, which she was all the time complaining, extremities in coordination. And then there's a lot of symptoms with the vision, which can be a range from not being able to judge the distance to myopia, hypermetropia, everything, and then hemiopia as well. Must take higher steps. That's one of the symptoms. And if we go to, I think this is boric, where want of power of concentration and coordination is given, vertigo, numbness, and muscular prostration, exactly as she says. Marked association of head and eye symptoms with muscular tiredness and weariness, again, exactly as she says. And then a remedy for migraine, headaches from eye strain and sexual weakness. So once I read this in a book like Boric, which talks mainly about physical symptoms and pathological symptoms, I was convinced this is the remedy of the patient. So in spite of the fact that it was a rare remedy, I had the confidence to give it in a single dose in 200 potency. Yeah. And with that, in around 3 months' time, she tells me that it is 99% gone. There are no headaches anymore. Only if there is a very loud noise, like a DJ is going on, or in Indian drum is being beaten. Only in that time, she sometimes has a little bit of pain that is also very much bearable, and the swelling is almost gone. Sometimes it is there. And the more important thing, along with this, the quarreling and fighting and irritability has all gone down. That was in 3 months' time. The 7 month, sorry, 8 months follow up is also similar. She had a headache once in this time, and onosmodium 200 was repeated. So, with that, I think we can call it a day for today. And I invite you to join us on the Repertory XP program to learn more and more of artistic use of the repertory, and even about many things, including selection of rubrics, conversion of patient language to rubric language. It will be a very good program for each of you. Thank you. Thank you.